The sky above was thick with the hum of alien ships, their immense, dark forms hovering over Earth's most defenseless outpost. The once pristine landscape below had been transformed into a battlefield, a place where humanity's technology was put to the test for the first time. The aliens, known for their advanced technology and condescending attitude, had invaded the planet with one goal: to crush humanity under the weight of their superior weapons and technology. But as the invaders scouted the human defenses, they found something they didn't expect: armor. Human-made, crude-looking, yet incredibly resilient. The alien leaders laughed at the sight. "This is what you call protection?" One of them scoffed, a chilling sound echoing from the control room of their massive ship. The aliens had never faced a species as weak as humans. To them, the armor was a joke, far too primitive to stand up to their plasma-based weapons. The aliens had weapons that could obliterate entire cities with a single shot, and they saw no reason to take the human threat seriously. Standing on the battlefield, the soldiers of Earth were undeterred by the ridicule. These soldiers had been training for years, knowing that their armor, though unpolished, was their last hope. The design, though far from perfect, had been crafted with ingenuity and resilience in mind. It was made from a combination of Earth's best technologies, combining bulletproof metals with energy shields to create a defense system that, while imperfect, was capable of withstanding incredible force. The alien leader, an imposing figure with pale, cold eyes, walked to the front of the ship's observation deck. "Watch as they fall before us," he commanded, his voice sharp and filled with disdain. The aliens stood in silence, mocking the humans' armor, convinced they were about to witness an easy victory. To them, it was almost laughable. How could such primitive creatures ever stand a chance against their superior might? The tension in the air grew thick as the first plasma cannon was raised. The soldiers below, clad in their armor, exchanged nervous glances. They had no idea how the battle would unfold. The aliens had underestimated humanity at every turn. Their mocking laughter echoed across the battlefield as the massive plasma weapon powered up, charging for the first shot. A deep, resonating hum filled the air, vibrating through the ground as the alien forces prepared to unleash their attack. "You dare to defy us?" the alien leader taunted, his voice booming over the intercom. "This will be your last stand. The armor you wear will melt in the face of our power." With a flick of his wrist, the alien leader signaled the attack. A massive plasma beam erupted from the cannon, slicing through the air like a hot knife through butter. The beam shot straight toward the human forces, its blue glow intensifying with each passing second. The humans, standing firm in their armor, knew that the moment of truth had come. Time seemed to slow as the plasma shot neared. The soldiers braced themselves, their hands gripping the controls of their suits, hearts pounding. Every second felt like an eternity. This was the moment that would either prove them right or prove the aliens' mockery justified. Could their armor withstand this devastating blast? The plasma shot hit with a deafening roar, its power shaking the ground beneath them. The humans braced for impact, expecting an explosion that would tear their suits apart. But something incredible happened, something no one had predicted. The armor absorbed the plasma shot. The energy field around each suit shimmered, flashing bright blue as it absorbed the incoming plasma. The blast didn't melt the armor, didn't crush the soldiers. It was simply absorbed, dissipated into the shields that powered their suits. The energy from the alien shot was redirected harmlessly into the ground, leaving the soldiers unharmed. For a moment, there was silence. The aliens stopped laughing. Their eyes widened in shock as they realized that their powerful plasma weapon had failed to penetrate the human armor. The leader's expression darkened with disbelief. "Impossible," he muttered under his breath. The soldiers, though stunned by the sudden success of their armor, couldn't afford to celebrate. The aliens were regrouping, furious, and now more dangerous than ever. But for a brief moment, the humans had proven something. They were not the weak, defenseless creatures the aliens had believed them to be. Their armor had stopped the plasma shot, and in doing so, They had turned the tables on their invaders. But this moment of triumph was just the beginning. The aliens, humiliated but not defeated, quickly recalculated their strategy. If the armor could withstand a plasma shot, they would need to bring out even greater firepower. The real battle was only beginning, and the humans had no idea what was coming next. The mocking had stopped. Now, the fight for survival had truly begun. The battlefield fell into a tense silence as the alien forces paused, utterly stunned by the result of their first attack. The plasma shot that had been their most powerful weapon had been absorbed harmlessly by the human armor. The soldiers, standing firm despite the odds, exchanged glances. Their hearts pounded in their chests, but there was no time for celebration. The aliens, now more furious than ever, were regrouping and recalculating. The laughter had stopped, but so had their sense of confidence. Above them, the alien flagship loomed like a dark shadow, its massive size a constant reminder of the forces they were up against. The alien leader, still recovering from the shock, snarled and turned toward his command officers. "Prepare the next wave," he ordered, his voice tight with anger. "If our plasma shots are useless, then we will show them what real power is." The soldiers below, their armor now glowing from the absorbed plasma, stood ready for whatever came next. The feeling of victory was short-lived. They knew the aliens weren't going to give up so easily. Their initial underestimation had cost them. Now, they were more determined than ever to prove their superiority. The alien leader's plan was simple yet deadly. He would use their secondary weapons, laser cannons capable of disintegrating entire platoons. These weapons were far more powerful than the plasma shot. If the armor couldn't absorb them, there would be no stopping the invasion. The alien leader ordered his forces to fire, and the sky above was soon filled with the whine of charging laser cannons. On the ground, the human soldiers braced themselves. The weight of their armor felt heavier now, as if the air itself had become thick with the fear of what was to come. Each soldier's hand gripped the controls of their suit tightly, their nerves firing as they awaited the next attack. Their mission was clear: survive. A sudden, blinding flash of light filled the air. The alien laser beams cut through the sky, traveling faster than the human eye could follow. As the first of the beams descended toward the soldiers, the air crackled with electricity. The humans could feel the sheer power of the incoming attack. They had only moments to react. As the first laser shot reached them, the soldiers activated their armor's defensive shields. A high-pitched whine filled their ears as the shields powered up, the blue energy field shimmering around them like a protective barrier. But this time, the laser was different. Unlike the plasma shot, which had been absorbed into the armor's field, the laser sliced through the shields with ease. The first shot hit the ground near a group of soldiers, sending a shockwave that knocked them off their feet. Their armor crackled and sparked, barely holding together under the strain of the attack. The second laser shot came faster. One of the soldiers raised their arms, hoping to deflect it with their shield, but it was too late. The laser struck the soldier's armor directly. There was a flash, followed by an explosion of sparks. The soldier was thrown backward, their suit smoking from the intense heat. The armor had withstood the initial hit, but the energy from the laser had pushed it to its limit. The soldier's body lay motionless, the suit now rendered useless. The other soldiers froze for a moment, staring at their fallen comrade. The gravity of the situation hit them hard. The aliens had brought out a weapon far stronger than they had anticipated, and they were paying the price for underestimating the enemy. The alien leader's laughter from moments ago had turned into a sneer of satisfaction. "You cannot withstand our weapons," he taunted over the intercom. But it wasn't over yet. The humans knew this was a fight for their lives, and they wouldn't give up so easily. As the alien lasers continued to strike the ground, the human commander issued an order to adapt their tactics. "We need to move. Now." The soldiers quickly regrouped, shifting their positions and spreading out to minimize the damage from the lasers. They activated their suits' mobility boosters, which allowed them to dart from cover to cover. The aliens, now focused on targeting individual soldiers, fired relentlessly. But the humans weren't as easy a target as they seemed. Just as it seemed the aliens had the upper hand, the human soldiers discovered something unexpected. The intense energy from the laser beams had done something the aliens didn't account for. It had triggered an enhancement in the human armor's energy core. The previously dormant energy reserves in the suits began to recharge faster, and the shields, weakened by the laser attacks, began to regenerate. It was as if the armor, pushed to the brink of destruction, had found new strength from the very attacks designed to destroy it. The alien leader's confidence began to falter as he watched the humans adapt. They were still standing, still fighting back, and their armor was growing stronger with each attack. "How is this possible?" he growled, frustration mounting in his voice. The humans had turned what seemed like their greatest weakness into a source of power. The tables had turned. The aliens had underestimated humanity once again. Now, instead of retreating, the humans were fighting with renewed vigor. They were not just defending. They were learning, adapting, and striking back with everything they had. The battle was far from over, but one thing had become clear. The aliens had made a fatal mistake. They had underestimated humanity's strength, and now humanity was proving them wrong. The unexpected turn had begun, and the aliens would have to fight harder than they ever imagined. The battlefield had transformed into a chaotic scene of flashing lights and swirling dust, the sky thick with the noise of ongoing warfare. The alien forces, enraged by the unexpected turn of events, were throwing everything they had at the human soldiers. The plasma blasts, laser beams, and advanced weaponry that had once seemed unbeatable now collided with the human armor, only to be met with surprising resilience. Despite the overwhelming odds, humanity's armor was evolving, adapting to each new assault, and the soldiers were fighting back with a newfound ferocity. The human commander, Captain Avery, stood at the front of the makeshift barricade, scanning the battlefield through the visor of his helmet. He could see the alien forces moving, regrouping, and bringing in reinforcements. The initial wave of the aliens' confidence had faded, replaced by a fierce determination to crush the humans once and for all. Yet, despite the odds, Captain Avery's soldiers were holding their ground. The armor, now charging rapidly from the energy the alien attacks had provided, had become stronger with each wave. "Keep pushing forward," Captain Avery shouted over the comms, his voice steady but urgent. "We're not just surviving, we're winning this fight." His words rang with truth as the soldiers around him began to move with precision. Their suits, once on the defensive, were now on the offense. They activated new weapon systems, energy blades, and plasma rifles, designed to turn the tide of battle. The human soldiers began to push back, striking at the aliens with greater confidence. Their armor, once mocked for its lack of sophistication, was now the key to their survival. It had absorbed the energy from the alien attacks and transformed that power into strength, enhancing the soldiers' mobility, weapon systems, and defense capabilities. Above them, the alien ships continued to rain destruction from the sky. But now, the human forces had found ways to fight back. The alien ships, once seen as invincible, were beginning to falter under the persistent fire from the human forces. Earth's military, with the advantage of their advanced armor, had begun targeting the alien spacecraft, striking their weak points with pinpoint accuracy. Each successful hit caused a ripple of fear through the alien ranks. Yet the battle was far from won. As the humans pressed forward, the alien forces unleashed their ultimate weapon, a massive warship that descended from the clouds like a harbinger of doom. It was unlike anything the humans had seen before, a vessel so large it blocked out the sun as it landed, shaking the ground beneath them. The warship's weapons powered up, ready to decimate everything in its path. The aliens had pulled out all the stops, and now they were playing for keeps. "We need to take down that warship," Captain Avery barked, his mind racing. "All units, concentrate fire on that target." The human soldiers moved quickly, repositioning themselves, and aiming their weapons at the incoming alien warship. They were now at a critical point in the battle. If they couldn't take down the ship, it would be the end of their fight. The warship's weapons fired, sending shockwaves through the ground as enormous plasma bursts erupted in the distance. Each blast was devastating, and the humans could feel the impact reverberating through their armor. But the humans didn't back down. Instead, they focused their efforts on the weak points of the warship, using the enhanced energy of their armor to power their weapons. Their armor, which had once been a symbol of ridicule, was now their greatest strength. The soldiers fired in unison, each shot powered by the amplified energy from their suits. The alien warship trembled under the barrage, the first sign that the tide of battle was turning. The alien leader, watching from his flagship, saw the humans' progress and began to panic. "What is happening? They're not supposed to be able to do this," he hissed, his voice filled with disbelief. "They're adapting too quickly." His officers scrambled to find a solution, but it was too late. The human armor, charged by the aliens' own attacks, had reached its full potential. The soldiers, now fully coordinated, pushed forward with everything they had. Their weapons, once seen as primitive, now glowed with an energy that matched the power of the alien forces. The once mocked humans had turned the tide of the battle, and there was no going back. As the final shot hit the alien warship's core, a massive explosion lit up the sky, sending debris raining down onto the battlefield. The alien forces staggered, their coordination broken. The humans, though battered and bruised, stood tall, their armor now gleaming with energy. They had done the impossible. They had taken down the warship. The battlefield grew quiet for a moment as both sides regrouped. The alien forces, still reeling from the loss of their warship, hesitated. The humans, despite their exhaustion, were more determined than ever. They had proven that even the most powerful weapons of the aliens could not break their resolve. Captain Avery surveyed the scene, a grim but hopeful look on his face. "This is just the beginning," he muttered to himself. The humans had shown that they were capable of more than the aliens had ever imagined. And now, the battle was truly in their hands. The battle was far from over, but with the defeat of the warship, the human soldiers knew they had gained a crucial advantage. Their armor, once mocked and underestimated, had become their greatest weapon. And with it, they would continue to fight until the very end. The dust of battle hung thick in the air as the last remnants of the alien warship drifted into space, its destruction marking the turning point of humanity's first real fight for survival in the stars. The alien forces, broken and scattered, had been thrown into disarray. Their once mighty warship had been reduced to floating debris, and their pride had been shattered. Earth's soldiers, bruised and battered but standing tall, surveyed the aftermath. The battlefield, though scared, was a testament to their resolve. Against all odds, humanity had won. Captain Avery stood at the edge of the battlefield, looking out at the wreckage. His armor, worn and scorched from the relentless battle, gleamed under the dimming light. The overwhelming weight of the moment settled upon him. The war was not over, but humanity had done what no one had believed possible. They had turned back an alien invasion, not with superior numbers, but with ingenuity, resilience, and sheer determination. "We've won the first battle," Captain Avery said quietly to his squad, his voice steady but filled with pride. "But this is just the beginning. The galaxy is watching us now." His words hung in the air, heavy with the knowledge that their victory was more than just a military success. It was a message. The destruction of the warship and the defeat of the alien forces marked a shift in the balance of power. Humanity, once an insignificant speck in the vast universe, had proven its worth. But with that victory came a new responsibility, a responsibility to protect their planet and take their place in the greater galactic arena. As the alien forces retreated, humiliated and broken, the human soldiers began to regroup. They had lost many comrades along the way, their armor and bodies battered by the brutal fight. Yet their spirits remained unbroken. They had faced the unimaginable and come out on top, their strength and courage forged in the crucible of battle. Now they were determined to carry that strength forward. The commanders of the Earth Defense Force began to assess the damage and formulate their next steps. The aliens would likely regroup, their defeat only a temporary setback. But humanity now had something the invaders had not anticipated: time. Time to rebuild, to strengthen their defenses, and to prepare for the next wave. It was clear that Earth's enemies would not stop until they had destroyed everything. Back at the human base, engineers and scientists worked tirelessly to repair and enhance the armor that had proven so effective. They had learned much from the battle. And now, with the combined knowledge of their soldiers and engineers, they set to work improving their technology. The armor was the key to humanity's survival, and they would make sure it was stronger, faster, and more resilient than ever before. Across the world, humanity began to unite. The victory was not just a military one. It was a rallying cry for all of Earth. People who had once been divided by borders and differences now came together in a common cause. The Earth Defense Alliance, a newly formed global military coalition, was born from the ashes of this battle. Its mission was clear: to defend Earth and prepare for the challenges that lay ahead in the galaxy. The United Nations called an emergency summit, inviting leaders from all corners of the Earth to come together and discuss the future of humanity in the galaxy. The message was simple: Earth had earned its place in the stars, and it was time to take their place as an equal in the galactic community. They would no longer be passive observers of the universe. Humanity was ready to fight for its future, and they would stand side by side with their allies in the coalition. As Earth's leaders debated and planned for the future, the soldiers who had fought so valiantly began to prepare for the next phase. The battle against the aliens had taught them many things, but it had also shown them that the universe was far more dangerous than they had ever imagined. The next conflict might be even more intense, and they needed to be ready. The Star Destroyer, once a symbol of uncertainty and fear, was now a symbol of hope. Its sleek form glided silently through space, its systems being upgraded to match the evolving technology of the humans. The crew that manned the ship had been through the worst, and they now stood as the first line of defense for Earth and its allies. They knew that their work had just begun, and they would not rest until they had fully prepared for whatever came next. Captain Avery stood at the command deck of the Star Destroyer, looking out at the stars. The vast expanse of space stretched out before him, endless and full of possibilities. Humanity had proven itself worthy. The galaxy had seen what they were capable of, and they had earned the respect of even the most powerful alien species. "We've taken our first step," Captain Avery said, his voice filled with quiet determination. "And now we take our place among the stars." As the Star Destroyer sailed into the unknown, humanity's future was uncertain, but one thing was clear: Earth had changed forever. They had faced the impossible and emerged victorious. And now, with their newfound strength, they would face whatever challenges the galaxy had in store for them. The dawn of a new era had arrived, and humanity was ready to rise to meet it.